Staying in the US, where the government's released a 9-point strategy for research and development into artificial intelligence. The White House wants to use AI to tackle social challenges and limit the risk of misuse. Fenton Monahan explains why there's pressure on the White House and what it hopes to do.
The Biden administration has been under pressure to come up with a plan to deal with AI. And that pressure is coming from a place you'd least expect it, Silicon Valley. Now, tech bros aren't usually keen on regulation, but even the biggest bro of them all, Elon Musk, wants the government to step in. Even the creator of ChatGPT, the program that's captured people's imaginations, wants regulation. Now the Biden administration says it has a plan. Top of the list of priorities is investment to ensure the US remains a leader in the field. They want to help create what they call an AI-ready workforce. They also acknowledge the dangers of AI, potential biases, privacy concerns, hacking vulnerabilities. But this is a strategic plan. The details of how they'll actually accomplish all this are yet to come.
And our White House correspondent Kimberly Halkett has more on what the Biden administration is trying to achieve.
As the White House lays out its strategy for ensuring that the United States stays ahead of advancements in artificial intelligence, Democrats as well as Republicans in the U.S. Congress are debating exactly how to regulate AI. And when it comes to doing just that, there are a wide range of differing opinions. The top Democrat in the U.S. Senate, Charles Schumer, has recently released a framework proposing that tech giants should reveal their data sources and explain models for their algorithms. That is something that Republicans are pushing back on, suggesting that this is an overreach that could stifle innovation and even cut into business profits. Recent hearings also failed to put forward any sort of substantial legislation proposals. And as a result, that is why some top business groups like the Chamber of Commerce in the United States are calling for lawmakers to work harder to come up with some sort of legislation, and in a hurry. That's because there are fears that there could soon be a concern about a loss for American businesses and even threats to U.S. national security. Kimberly Halkett, Al Jazeera, the White House.
Ramesh Srinivasan is a professor at UCLA's Department of Information Studies. He says regulation could benefit the few AI companies currently operating in the U.S.
I'm very, very concerned that a lot of these calls for regulation and those that seem to be driving discussions around what such regulation would look like in relation to artificial intelligence are industry titans, right? I think it's worth noting that in the AI space, it is not a very competitive market. It's just a couple players in the United States, primarily Google and OpenAI, right? And OpenAI has a connection to Microsoft. So when Sam Altman or other industry execs go in front of Congress and say, we want regulation, what they're essentially saying is set up a bunch of legal parameters that are optimized for our own success. However, there are aspects of this call that are very important. I really hope they end up getting prioritized, which is what is the future going to look like for workers in this country, let alone the wider world, when digital systems are essentially able to use the personal data of us all to mimic our behavior and replace us in many cases. Now is the critical juncture. I think it's partly because these AI technologies, and I'm specifically referring to GPT-4, GPT-5, are just so uncanny in their ability to mimic human behavior and at times go off the rails. So I think that creates a lot of anxiety for us all, like what is this that we're engaging with? But your point is really well taken. The issues that a real public interest, real people-centered interest, real planet-centered interest of regulation on these platforms, on these AI systems, is actually very much the same issue as what needs to be done with our digital lives more generally, and absolutely with social media and search as well.